Today I'm out with John O'Reilly. He's a beef farmer in Nobber, County Meath. He finishes approximately 200 beef cattle, comprising of around half steers, half bulls.
The big issue with us in farming going forward is weights and finishing cattle earlier and quicker. Up until now I've been fattening animals and weight hasn't been a big issue really, but from now on the processors are telling us and all farmers that we have to finish animals at maybe 400 kilos, something around that. So that's my big challenge. So I called Edward just to see what could we do with finishing the animals maybe that bit quicker. And Edward's my local Kiernan Mill rep. I'm dealing with Edward for about 4 years now. So Edward got back on to me and says we get our local nutritionalist, Dave, come out and look at things and give me an overview on what way to do it.
The first few things that I do when I call out the farm, I look at the animal health program on the farm, I look at environment, and I look at the silage or what other feed he has on the farm. Because all these factors, if they're not being implemented right in the farm, can have a very negative effect on the performance of the animal. And just take one of them factors, for example, grass silage. I'll see what it can actually support from a finishing angle or weanling. I'll then show that to the farmer, show him what sort of a balancer we can do or what sort of a mix I can do, which will be fully fortified with minerals, buffers or whatever has to go into it to achieve that performance that the farmer wants on farm.
Dave went away on Edward and maybe 2 or 3 days later he came back with a plan that we could go forward with.
So we decided that the bulls at that stage were probably 14, 15 months. We weren't going to get them in under 16 months onto the grid. We decided then we'd bring them into the shed, put them on a high cereal dense diet that would be buffered well, along with some forage source.
Initially we were going to go in a nut, maybe with some silage and that, but I was very low in silage at the time and I had lots of straw, so Dave says that's not a problem, we'll go with the straw. And rather than using a nut, which I have been using for the past maybe year, maybe thought maybe I'd be better going with a ration.
We decided to go down the blend route for a few reasons. Blends, you can get 50% maize, you don't have to worry about pelleting. Economically, it's 15 to 20 euro cheaper, so it's better value for money. But at the end of the day, it's getting your balance right. To get your big weight gains, you need to go with your maize, your barley, in at high proportions, and at the same time going in, having it properly balanced with a fibre source, with a protein source that maybe something like distillers that's giving you energy and protein.
I brought the animals in 18 days ago now, started them off on maybe 3 kilos a day for about 4 or 5 days, built them up gradually, maybe twice a day when we got to maybe 7, 8 kilos, with ad-lib straw.
The aim for these bulls is to put on 1.8 kilos a day, which translates into 1.4 kilos dead.
Well, my hopes on this farm will be that this will be a much more efficient system of producing cattle for what the market needs. In 80 days, I'm really looking forward to see what the number on the scales will be then.
Well, we've just did our 3rd weighing there today and I'll have to say I'll be very happy with what we see so far. We've bulls doing from over 2 back to maybe 1.5, with an average of 1.75 in around that, which I'd be very happy with.
Most of the farms that I've been to would be very happy to have an average weight gain of 1.5. Here it's 1.75. It's extremely good. Well up from the general average that I'd be finding in most of my area.
I found it very informative actually. The most interesting thing to me, and there's a Frisian bull in here and he's achieved maybe up on 2 kilos a day, which has opened my eyes really, So that's I suppose the whole idea of these things really, isn't it? Just learn different things about different stocks. What I take from this would be really that you need to call in Glenmill, whoever it is, they're the experts in this field. Bring them out through your stock, check how they're thriving, and a useful tool is the weighing scales, I have to say, just to monitor, even if you only weigh a couple of the animals, just to see what's happening. Then get your mix accordingly. If the mix isn't working, you can change it, but they'll know anyway they're dealing with this all the time, because it's all fine margins in this game at this stage, so you need all the help you can get really. And the final piece of the jigsaw here, I suppose, is when we kill these animals in the next 2 to 3 days or whatever, and it'll be very interesting to see the fat score, the percentage kill out, and that'll put the final piece of the jigsaw in place to really how the whole thing worked out.
We're at the end of the trial now and the cattle have been slaughtered, and I'm extremely happy and content with how things went. They progressed well, killed well. So all in all, I'd be thrilled with the overall result.